Alright, so here's my battle for this week. I kind of noticed that nobody really pays attention to the team preview thing, and some of the newer players don't exactly know how to use it to their advantage. So from now on, I'm probably going to start using a little segment, about a minute long, to analyze my team and the other dude's team, and yeah, go from there. And hopefully it'll teach people what they should be looking for in the team preview, and not just pick their Pokemon, because there's actually quite a bit you should be thinking about. So I'm using a standard Sandstorm team. There's not really much to explain about my team, so let's get started with the other guy's team. He's running a Hitmontop, and since I'm using Sand, I'm pretty sure he's gonna assume I'm gonna lead with Tyranitar, and he's probably gonna lead off with his Hitmontop. So now I need to pick a Pokemon to put in my lead position, which could be able to handle the Hitmontop or any other possible lead of his. So I have two options, which would be Rotom and Skarmory. If I lead with Rotom, he's probably going to just switch out to his Latias to take the Will-O-Wisp, and then fire off a Draco Meteor, which would put me at a not very ideal position. So I'm going to go ahead and lead with Skarmory just to scare him off with the Brave Bird and adjust accordingly. If he doesn't decide to lead with the Hitmontop, he might also lead with the Jirachi, since Jirachi commonly runs Choice Scarf and Iron Head, and regardless if it's Choice Scarf or not, Jirachi almost always carries Iron Head this gen. You don't really see Calm Mind Jirachi too much since Reuniclus. But yeah, other than that, he's got some rather random dudes. My team should be able to handle it, but the main part I want to get across here is how to pick the leads and how to analyze the other dudes' possible leads. So let's get started off with the battle. Hopefully that wasn't too boring, but as I predicted, he did lead off with a Hitmontop, and he uses Intimidate, which I didn't really notice because I was doing other shit. But in any case, I'm gonna fire off a Brave Bird, see what he goes to. He goes into a Flareon because LOL for Larion. That shit dies. Flareon, he's useless. Don't ever use it. So yeah. Now he goes to this Latias. I don't want to take a Surf or a Draco Meteor, so I'm gonna go into Celebi, predicting the Surf. I could have went to Tyranitar, but I didn't want him to bring in the Hitmontop again. So that also gives me a chance to paralyze the Latias, because yeah, now my Mamoswine is gonna be able to outspeed it and my Tyranitar, and yeah, I could burn it, which might help me out in the long run if it's Calm Mind, but I prefer the paralysis on it. So he goes to Jirachi, goes for an Ice Punch. I didn't know what he did. I thought he might gone for a Thunderbolt or something, but I also didn't think he'd stay in, since it's physical and you know, it's not gonna be able to touch my Skarmory. So I went out to this Rotom. Now I'm gonna make a switch again to my Skarmory, predicting him to go for the Body Slam. I don't really want my Rotom to be paralyzed, since I'm gonna need him to hit the Quagsire with like Hydro Pumps later on. So yeah. Now again, I go to Celebi. I'm not too worried about the Draco Meteor, since usually people run Calm Mind Latias with not too much special attack investment, since if they want an all-out special attacker, they usually go with Latias. So that's the reason I'm not going into Tyranitar. Anyway, this turn I do go into Tyranitar. I do get to see the leftover, which kind of confirms my thinking that it's going to be a defensive Latias. So now he brings in Hitmontop. I believe I get up Stealth Rock. Now I'm going to go back into Skarmory. I don't want to go into Rotom, since it's pretty much useless, since he does have the Latias, which commonly runs Recover. So any damage I'm going to get with Thunderbolt and or Hydro Pump is going to be, he's going to just shake it off with the Recover, and it's going to be a waste of a turn pretty much. So now I go to Skarm. He got out this Zapdos. I don't want to take the T-Wave, obviously, so I'm going to go into Tyranitar, which has quite a bit of special defensive investment. So he misses. Doesn't matter too much. It wasn't really going to do anything anyway. So he goes to this Quagsire. I don't want to take the Earthquake, but Rotom could take the Earthquake rather well. He goes for the Curse. I don't really know why. He knows I have a Celebi, which commonly carries the Giga Drain, even though mine doesn't have a grass move. I thought he might fear it, but it turns out he doesn't. So whatever, I was gonna try to burn it. Will-O-Wisp decides to miss though, and I believe he goes into his Latias, taking advantage of the miss, knowing I'm probably gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp again. And I think I miss again. Doesn't matter though, because he's paralyzed and it wasn't gonna work anyway. So pretty sure I'm gonna go into either Tyranitar or Celebi. I decided to go into Tyranitar, just to scare him off with a possible crunch. I'm not gonna go for the crunch though, since it's way too obvious. He does have a Hitmontop. So I'm gonna go with the Fire Blast instead. No, I go for the crunch. My bad. But whatever. I get a defense drop. Not gonna want to stay in here regardless. So because I do have my Skarm raised, and since I seen the Body Slam, Iron Head, Ice Punch combination, I know he's not gonna be able to do shit to me, and I could set up some spikes on it and then phase him out to something else, rack up some spikes damage. So here I went for the Whirlwind because I knew he would switch. There's no reason for him to stay in, but unfortunately I get the Parahax, which kind of sucks. Since if I did go for the Whirlwind, he would have been at 25% health the next time he came in here, and yeah, he wouldn't have been such a big problem to deal with. But now he gets up a roost. I go into Celebi. I do know he can learn Heat Wave, but I'm not too worried about it. I know I could take a couple of those because this is a specially defensive Celebi thingy. But I go for the Perish Song just to force him out. I wasn't really expecting him to get a crit, but since he did get the crit, my shit dies off, and that's kind of gay, but whatever. Now I'm going to go into Rotom, go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I actually predict the switch or whatever. Go for a Pain Split instead, and not going to stay in here. He could Calm Mind it on me, or go for a Draco Meteor. So I'm going to go into Tyranitar. He decides to go for a Recover, and this is what I was getting confused with the other turn. Since he does have the Hitmontop and the Jirachi, I'm going to go for the Fire Blast this time. Last time I went for the Crunch as he brought in Jirachi, so he probably thought I was going to go for Crunch again. I go for the Fire Blast though, does a decent amount, doesn't quite kill because Hitmontop has rather decent special defense, but thankfully I carry the Chople Berry, and I was pretty sure I could be able to live a Mach Punch. I guess he didn't have close combat, but whatever, that works out because I get a kill off the Hitmontop, and I no longer have to worry about him spinning away all my entry hazards, even though he probably didn't have rapid spins, judging since he had the Intimidate and not the Technician. So here it's Zapdos versus Mamoswine. If I can get rid of this Zapdos and get some damage on the Quagsire, I should have a Doryuzu sweep. So right here, we both missed. I was kind of getting upset when I saw my Icicle Crash miss, but it's fine since he missed the Heat Wave himself. So since Ice Shard only did about a 45%, and he does have the Roost, I have no choice but to go for the Icicle Crash. He decides to miss or switch out though, so I kill off his Quagsire. That's good news because now my Doryuzu didn't have to worry about that shit. He goes out to his Latias. It's not gonna be able to take the Icicle Crash, and nah, it's pretty much game since nothing on his team is going to be able to take a hit from my Mamoswine at this point, since I got all my entry hazards up and I paralyzed the only thing on his team that could outspeed it. So that's pretty much the game. I usually don't upload one-sided battles like this, but I really don't feel like battling too much, and getting good battles is pretty hard sometimes. So from now on, I'm probably just gonna upload whatever the fuck I want to, and provide a more insightful narration that I would otherwise. So shout out to my boy PK. Let me know if you guys like the team preview thing I did in the beginning, but yeah, comment, rate, all that shit. I'm out.